Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this week for my Game of Thrones bonus video, I wanted to talk about my favorite character pairings. One of the few good things about the show being different from the books is that you just get to spend more time with really interesting characters. It's true you could argue that some of the characters that they cut are just as interesting as the characters that they leave in. But the benefit is that, you do fall in love with some of the characters that they have on the show and you get to spend more time with them. So this is going to be my top 5 character pairings from the show. Oh, and a new round of the book giveaway starts right now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment. But careful for spoilers from everything through seasons 4. I'll wait just a sec. Okay, everybody ready? Here we go. Number 5, Jaime and Cersei. I always love watching interviews where people ask Lena Headey and Nikolai Coster-Waldau about Jaime and Cersei motivations. Sometimes you just catch them looking off into the distance and you're not sure whether or not they just hate answering Jaime-Cersei questions or if they're not really sure. I think it's a little bit of both. Jaime and Cersei are one of those couples that's just so wrong that it's right. They, along with most of the other people on this list, are tailor-made for Tumblr. And no matter what ends up happening in future seasons, I don't think that either one of them is ever going to be able to completely unwind their relationship. Like, they're fundamentally linked, they're twins, they share genetic material. Even if they didn't have a sexual relationship, they would still have that pseudo-psychic shared twin space in their heads. Like, they would still constantly be thinking about each other. I know that everyone was a little bit upset with what they did with Jaime's character, especially with that big Jaime-Cersei scene in Baelor's Sept. It did seem like he had been on something of a redemptive arc, then backslid big time with the twincest over their dead son's body. I don't think it would have been very interesting if Jaime had automatically turned into a Boy Scout during the back half of season 3. Not that that possibility is completely gone. I do still believe that he's going to try to find some sort of redemption, whether or not he actually achieves that. Part of me just feels like everyone in that family is doomed. Best of intentions, they're still going to be doomed. Regardless of what happens to either one of those characters in the future, their relationship is part of the bedrock of the series. It's implied that Jaime's character is going in a different direction on the show than it is in the book, so I'm interested to see if George R. R. Martin backtracks any, or if both characters end up in the same place. I think that's the idea. Like, even if the show does different things, different scenes, I think both of the characters are going to end up in the same place. Number 4, Jon and Ygritte. They spent a lot of time together in the book, so I was a little disappointed that Ygritte's teachings didn't become as big a thing on the show. In the books, it just seemed like she was much more of a guide to Jon than she was on the show, but I think that's just a function of the amount of time that they could have them on screen. Like, there are a lot of characters, they have to service them all, so you can't spend all of your time with just 2 people. I know they made Jon's sexual education a really big thing, but their relationship went way deeper than that. Jon had like this really rapid period of mind expansion whenever he was north of the Wall with her. If you look at it from like a hero's journey Joseph Campbell perspective, Ygritte was like his goddess. She imparted great wisdom. Sexual wisdom, yes, but also a lot of cultural wisdom. It's like being a foreign exchange student and coming home to the realization that you only learned a fraction of the real truth of the world in your primary school. Sometimes I like to think about them climbing the wall in season 3 as like this crazy drug trip that they did together. Like, they both dropped ecstasy and their journey up the wall was just a process of the drugs opening Jon's mind. Just as you hit the top, you get that big white shot south of the wall, bam, Jon comes to this huge realization. He is just a small man in the grand scale of the universe. To be fair though, I think all the cave sex and Ygritte dying opened Jon's mind in that way too. Now that Ygritte's gone, or physically gone, I mean, she's never gonna completely be gone from Jon's head. I'll be interested to see if Jon Melisandre becomes the thing next season. I feel like that long look over the fire was a big teaser for some amazing scenes with them next year. I don't think they're going to take it to a sexual place like Gendry and Melisandre, but still, something is going to happen with those two. Which actually leads me to number 3, Stannis and Melisandre. I always feel like the Red Woman's playing games with everyone, so even though she and Stannis have a very toxic Jaime-Cersei type relationship, minus the twincest, Stannis is always going to be the subordinate in their relationship. I mean, let's be honest about who the real brains of the operation are. I feel like he's completely at her mercy, and he just isn't willing to say it out loud. Jaime and Cersei are a little bit more balanced in their relationship. Stannis always seemed to me like he was written so that you would not root for him. Like, he is always automatically going to be the lesser person whenever 2 people are standing around with him. Sometimes I actually get the sense in the narrative that he feels that way about himself, and it just makes him really, really mad. Like, that's why he's so mad. It's just because he senses that everyone doesn't like him. That might be one of the reasons why he took up with Melisandre so willingly. He just reeks of desperation and neediness, which are 2 of the most unattractive qualities in a person. So naturally, whenever they're standing around, you're always going to be rooting for Melisandre to do something crazy to him. Speaking of wanting something crazy to happen, number 2, Jaime and Brienne. Probably one of my favorite tragic couples on TV right now. Just two people that seem like they bring out so much potential in each other, but because it's Martin writing the story, you get the sense that they're never gonna get any kind of happy ending. Like there's no Disney ending for anyone in A Song of Ice and Fire, but definitely not for Jaime and Brienne. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think knowing that they're probably never gonna consummate their relationship makes their scenes a little more electric. And if you absolutely have to take it to that place, there is a ton of Tumblr fanfiction that will go there. Sometimes I feel like the show has paid a lot of fan service just because they've kept Brienne a lot more than she is in the books. Her character changes are actually some of the ones that I'm a little bit more happy with. I mean, she's a really interesting character, but she's one of so many in the books that you just do not spend as much time with her. There's also that giant plotline that they got rid of when they didn't do Lady Stoneheart in season 4, so I'm curious to see if they continue to go in a different direction with Jaime and Brienne, or if they circle back around to the book story at some point in some creative way. Like sometimes whenever they change things on the show, like the whole Bran Carl Tanner storyline in season 4, they still go in the same direction. Like Bran still ended up meeting the Blood Raven. I'm actually starting to wonder if we're going to see any crossover with the Sansa and Brienne storyline. That would be a big departure from the books too. I do not think that Brienne's going to head right back to King's Landing, even though Arya Stark slipped through her fingers. I mean, she still feels like Sansa's out there somewhere. Which actually leads me to my number 1 pairing, Arya Stark and the Hound, Team Fuck the King. For all the changes the show made to the books in season 4, I felt like Arya and the Hound stayed pretty close to the books for the most part. There were a lot of minor details that were off, like the timing and the cause of their split, but Arya still came to the same conclusion. She just stopped giving a shit about him. I think part of the reason why I like those two characters together so much is just because they're such an odd couple, but they bring out the best in each other. Arya learned where the heart is, which is actually a good metaphor for growing up, and the Hound found something that made him feel like less of a dirtbag. Like he actually grew as a character quite a bit too, even though it didn't seem that way. I mean, ultimately, he never really crossed that bridge, so to speak. Like he didn't evolve like Arya did, which is probably why she had to leave him. I know there are a lot of gravedigger theories out there, so he might still be alive and get a measure of redemption, but at least he did help Arya evolve in season 4. I think two of my favorite scenes with them together were when Arya made both of her kills. Whenever she killed Polliver and then Rourke, I don't think she would have been able to do that without the Hound's influence. I know based on the way they left things at the end of the season, there's all kinds of talk going on. It's important to note that Arya didn't really think that the Hound was dead whenever she left. She just left him to his fate and walked off. So I don't think that she thinks that he's dead. I think she just doesn't care. That essentially means that he's still on her list. She didn't cross him off. So someday, if they do cross paths again, she will kill him. But it's totally possible that they could do a Gendry thing where the Hound just does not appear in season 5 at all. Rory McCann has not been spotted on set, and Arya is filming in a completely different location. Let me know though, who is your favorite pairing on the show, and who's your favorite pairing in the books if it's a different pair? Just a quick reminder too, the World of Ice and Fire book is coming out at the end of the month, so in about 2 weeks, what I'm going to do for my giveaway is just make it for copies of that. It is going to be a badass book, so I encourage all of you guys to buy a hardback copy. That actually reminds me, congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, Edward Fall. You basically win your choice of any of Martin's books, so I'll reach out to you on your channel for details. Lots of other really big stuff happening tonight. The Flash episode 1 premieres and then airs tomorrow, so be sure to check those out. My next Game of Thrones video is probably going to be a theory video. There's just a whole lot of theories that I haven't spent a lot of time talking about, and it's totally interesting. If there's any theories in particular that you guys really want to talk about, just let me know in the comments. But right now, click here for my top 5 prophecies on the show, not quite the same thing as theories, and click here for my top 10 dead characters that I want to see come back to life. Thank you so much for watching, so let's all high five. I'll see you guys tonight.